Alright, folks, it is time once again for another Latchkey Food vlog review. Now, I put the vlog in there because my style of food reviewing takes longer. I see other reviewers attacking that like there's something wrong with you taking a little bit of extra time for a food review, just trying to bring attention upon themselves, that is all. And you know, I like a little bit more in-depth explanation when it comes to watching a food review, for sure. So, with that being said, today our vlog review is going to be about Whiteford's of Laurens County. The first time I ever ate at Whiteford's was probably 1984, but it had existed, you know, since the 1950s. And from what I was told back then, that it was a competing restaurant to McDonald's and Hardee's that were in the area at the time, as an alternative to those two restaurants. Not only that, but the Whiteford family also owned some Kentucky Fried Chicken. They had stock in that, and Whiteford's was a separate restaurant that they run from that with the family name attached to it. So with them trying to compete with McDonald's and Hardee's, mind you, Burger King did not hit Laurens County until the 1990s. So those were the competing restaurants in the town at the time. Since then, there's a multiple of restaurants in the county. It has grown a little bit since those times, but Whiteford's has stayed tried and true. It is still there, and they have a restaurant on one end of the county, which is in the town of Laurens itself, and then they have one in Clinton, which is the next town over, which is still Laurens County. So Whiteford's is quite established within the county, and people pack the house there. At breakfast time, you see the old timers, you know, from back in the day. You know, this was their meetup place when they got off after school, when they you know, wanted to, you know, get together, you know, and have dates and stuff. You know, let's go to Whiteford, you know, take your chick to Whiteford, you know, get a giant burger, stuff like that, you know. There's some nostalgia here. So when you're reviewing a restaurant like that, you got to be careful about what you say, you know. Not to mention the fact that the menu is quite extensive. I mean, they do catering style stuff too. So they got like pulled pork, hash they sell in there. They got ribs they sell in there. Barbecue style of food, as well as the fast food. So the menu is extensive. It's extensive. So, you know, to go there and have a so-called, you know, quote-unquote bad experience and write the whole restaurant off over one thing that you tried that you didn't like, you know, it's kind of silly. And the reason I bring that up is because you got a lot of online reviews such as Yelp and other sources, you know, that may, you know, go on there just to complain. And you know what? Yelp, all the restaurants, what don't make sense to me about it, you know, is they go on there and they complain, but that's all you see on there is nothing but complaint after complaint after complaint about these restaurants and other online sources too. It's not just that one. It's just an example, you know. People go on there, write reviews, you know, and then you check out some of them, and that's all they do is negativity. They spread it everywhere they go. But when you go to the restaurant itself, the traffic going through the place does not reflect on that. When you see lines of cars at the drive-thru at a place like Whiteford's in the morning, circling the building, especially on the weekends, and then you see lines of cars in the parking lot where people are eating inside, enjoying themselves, conversating, communicating, having a good time, says differently than what these complainers are talking about. I mean, in a big way. I don't trust online reviews, and I don't trust reviews that are, you know, quick and fast, you know. And another thing I don't trust about them reviews is somebody driving, from another town, or another state even, or another town, about 45 minutes to an hour away, or 20 or 30 minutes away, coming there for the first time and trash talk the food seems kind of like, it's intentional. Because the number of people eating there morning, noon, and night does not reflect on the reviews coming through on some of this social media. So another thing too, I see people, write a review about they're missing napkins, and I'm bad to complain about missing napkins and stuff, but I always carry wet wipes with me. I am a prepared reviewer when it comes to stuff like that. So I usually come prepared with my own source to wipe my face with if need be. And as far as stuff like okay, so like I am out of plastic spoons. You see me when I do my ice cream reviews, when I'm reviewing ice cream from the grocery store and stuff, I've always got plastic spoons on me. So I'm out of that type of stuff. Sometimes the restaurants, they're supposed to give you stuff like that, and I understand that it's a little aggravating, but hey, I am a food reviewer. I have a responsibility to be prepared for these type of situations, So I like to keep a few extra straws around, some napkins and some forks and stuff like that. So I am not prepared this morning. So part of this video is going to be getting prepared to review the Giant Burger. And I got to go in this here Family Dollar. This is a huge Family Dollar that's been here for years. Back before it was the Family Dollar, why it's so big, it used to be a grocery store at one time. People bought their groceries in here. And since it's Family Dollar, they kind of still do. So without further ado, I'm going to go in there, get me some forks and some spoons and some napkins and stuff. Because as a food reviewer, you always got to be prepared. Alright, like I said, I am now in the Family Dollar, and like I said, everything you need is right here. There you go. We got forks, spoons, and knives covered for a while, and wow, something still actually costs just $1. Oh my God, that should last me a good while. And if I ever need to, I'll come back and get more. So we're prepared in that sense. So what's the napkins look like? They're a little higher. So yeah, we'll just hope for the best. Well, should I do it? Should I get some? Alright, so the napkins are like $2.75. Two different kinds to choose from, so I'm just gonna grab those. So I have plenty of napkins available, plenty of cutlery available if need be, for future endeavors, as well as this one, just in case. Be prepared. Alright folks, so like I said, Whiteford's was competing on the level of Hardee's and McDonald's at the time. And from what I can remember about Hardee's, they used to have a big deluxe with lettuce, tomato, onion, mustard, and ketchup. I think that's the way the big deluxe used to come from Hardee's. And Whopper, kind of had a similar pattern like that, except for had mayonnaise and ketchup. So I'm thinking it was a burger that was supposed to compete with like your quarter pounder size hamburger from McDonald's. Or maybe like that big deluxe that Hardee's used to sell. Now, just because it's called Giant Burger doesn't mean, it's supposed to be the biggest burger in modern day as far as hamburgers and cheeseburgers go. It was meant to compete with those burgers of size for back in those times, and compared to the regular hamburgers and cheeseburgers, it was its own thing, and it was pretty decently sized, from what I can remember. I haven't had one in a while. We're gonna have one in a minute, but first I'm gonna swing through McDonald's. I'm gonna get a 1/4 pounder with cheese, just to have a size comparison to compare it to. Alright, so once again we have arrived at Whiteford's, home of the Giant Burger. It says it right there on the building, Giant Burger. And we're going to give it a proper review today. Just as soon as I get it ordered. Man, this parking lot is full, but the drive-thru, luckily today, it's a Wednesday, is not. So, let's find out how much a Giant Burger plate is. I might get mine without onions, because that's my prerogative. Let me get a giant cheeseburger plate. Fries, an onion ring. That'll be all. Alright, thank you. So we got two sides, so I got half and half, fries and onion rings for $10.49. Alright, folks, I'm gonna get it. Well, I'm gonna settle up with them. We'll talk about it in a minute. Alright, folks, so I got it, and I got the McDonald's 1/4 pounder to compare it to. Now, unfortunately, they didn't have any shady spots for me to park at so I could talk to you, which would interfere with the camera lens, but I did park beside it. See, there's Big Ivan right there, and the O'Reilly's parking lot next to it, which has some shade. And I also got a water at McDonald's for 50 cents, a large one. Now I paid $10 for this meal at Whiteford's. Now keep that in mind, because that's going to be a very important when I talk about what I paid for the 1/4 pound. Alright, so there you go. There's our Giant Burger. There's our fries. And there's our onion rings. This is a beer battered onion rings. These things are amazingly good. And even though I don't need it, they did include a fork and a napkin, a little salt and pepper in there, and some ketchup, which I do not need, because their fries are amazing. Hear how crispy but yet soft they are. I mean, their fries, they're okay. They're not my favorite. They're not bad, though, either. They're not nothing I would toss out the window. We'll put it that way. They're a decent French fry. They kind of remind you of the taste and texture of Burger King fries, actually. Except for they're slightly better. But that's kind of what they remind you of. Ballpark. Just to have something to compare them to. And you can get any two sides you want. I could have got all fries, all onion rings. I could have got fries, slaw, whatever I wanted. Oh. Those onion rings are what's up. So now, I got the giant cheeseburger. Well, if you can see that patty underneath that lettuce, I'll try to get to it. It's a decently sized burger. I got giant hands, so that is a pretty doggone big cheeseburger. So, let's compare it to a one that everyone's familiar with, because I feel like that's important. Alright, so this is your quarter pounder. This thing cost me $6.60. You tell me which one's bigger. Huh? That thing covers that quarter pounder. Covers it. Just a size comparison. Size comparison there, folks. In case you wanted to know. Can't have no misinformation going on. Okay. Look at that. That patty is juicy, fresh off the grill. Man. Look at that. Look at it. Look at this thing. I done eat half of it, and it's still bigger than the quarter pounder. Okay. So yeah, it definitely deserves the title of a giant burger. Those onion rings, y'all. Oh my God. Heavenly amazing. Listen, I ain't gonna lie to you. I knew this was two big old thumbs up when I came in here, before I even ordered one. Got your choice here. $10, fries, onion rings, and a big old giant cheeseburger. Or you can go pay $6 for one of these little quarter pounders. Choice is yours. Tell me what you think down in the comments. Like I said, two big old thumbs up for the giant cheeseburger. I'm just going to enjoy the rest of this one off camera, because I think you kind of get the drift. So, that is all I have for this review. So until the next one, you folks have a good one.